Hey guys, uh, summertime, so don't get to see all your smiling faces for stewardship team meeting, but that's okay. The good news is we're in a pretty great spot financially. I do want to share just a few items with you, some great things that have happened in our church you may or may not be aware of. Melody got baptized last month, and Melody came with her grandmother to our May the 4th Be With You event where we did the Star Wars theme and all of that. She came, she had been to our church a few times. Grandma had been talking to her about following Jesus. Parents weren't super involved, but she spent a few minutes and talking with Kathy, our children's leader, and had just a lot of questions. And Kathy sat with Grandma and tried to answer the questions as best she could and encouraged her to consider following Jesus. And she said she wanted to. They prayed together, and we got a chance to baptize her. And so it's great to look at all the numbers and how many families came and all of that, which is amazing. That's why we host those kind of events. But what a really cool story that Melody, her life changed by coming to a just kind of a fun, awkward Star Wars thing. And she ended up becoming a follower of Jesus and getting baptized in May. So, what a cool story that was. A couple other things going on. Our welcome to the neighborhood has been busy. We've seen about 25 folks come through in the last couple of months that are guests to our church and coming to the lunch to find out more about us. So that's been phenomenal. Our during the week preschool, they ended when the school year ended, so about mid May. And this was the first year, full school year for them. And I'm excited to let you know we ended in the black. They actually were positive cash flow, which is phenomenal. Now we're not charging them rent, and we'll kind of add that in as we get up and running for next semester when it seems appropriate. But lots of progress there. New kids getting involved. We're seeing families from Tot Town come to preschool that show up at church. We're seeing families that go to our during the week preschool that have come to church or gone to Tot Town. And so a lot of crossover stuff there that's happening, which is great because it just gives us another avenue into young families. And not only that, it's actually producing income to allow us to do additional ministry. So that was phenomenal. A couple other quick things. Our first time visitors, documented first time visitors, that's where we get a connect card or we get some information electronically on somebody that visits our church. We are up 40% year over year on that number, which is really amazing. And it's a testament to some of the hard work our staff has been doing, to you and people just like you that are inviting their friends. And it's just amazing because when they give us that information, it's almost like they're giving us permission to follow up with them. And so that's phenomenal. We've been excited about that. April, Maxie, many of you know April, who leads our cafe on Sunday mornings. She's been helping us for the last 6 months kind of have some special things on Sundays where we start a new sermon series or when we did the Super Bowl party, the popsicle and start of summer stuff have been things that April's been helping us with. And we did that as an experiment and she enjoyed it and she's wanting to do it. So we're going to continue with that going on into the rest of 2025 and already starting to talk through dates and opportunities in 2026. So I'm excited about that because I think when we can add some fun and excitement on Sunday morning, it just gives it an extra little kick that will hopefully not only encourage our folks, but potentially involve new folks too as they come and have fun with us. And so that's been good. A couple other quick things. Yeah, for sure. Our giving. We are giving both over our expenses, so we're taking in more than we're spending, but we're also giving over budget year to date, which is amazing. That doesn't happen very often. And so through May, we have given not only more than we've spent, but we've given more than our budget. And that's not in counting any large gifts or anything like that. That's normal giving. So, wow, our church is really responding well to being good stewards and allowing us to do some amazing things because of that. Our VBS came and went, but our registrations and attendance were the highest in several years, maybe ever. I don't know for sure because I could only go back 4 or 5 years, but we just had a really great VBS, and we're excited about what's going to happen with some of the inroads we made with new families that weren't going to church anywhere, not just church hopping or taking kids to this VBS or that VBS, but they weren't going to church anywhere. And so we got an opportunity to connect with a lot of families like that, which is exciting. Really loved last Sunday when our church was able to affirm some new elders and a position change for Corey. And so just great to see the spiritual leadership in our church kind of getting turned up a notch. And then finally, we've had about 140 people sign up for the Finding Your Way devotional. And I know that not every person is going to do every day of the 49-day devotional, but I'm just excited that people in our church are wanting to get into the Bible, understand a little bit more who Jesus is and what it looks like to follow him. And so I just thought those were some great wins and some great things that we're seeing God do in our church that would be good to share with you guys as we get ready to talk about some of our stewardship things and just kind of what's been happening there. So as I said, and you probably already know if you've looked at the reports, our giving through May has been spectacular. Our spending is under budget, which is also nice to go with giving over budget. And so it's really putting us in a unique position that I do want to talk with you about when we get to our next meeting about potentially budgeting for less than we're projected to give so that we can create some margin in future years that would allow us to respond to things that God's doing or opportunities we didn't know we were going to have, but just to kind of build in a little bit of margin. So we'll talk through that at our next meeting. But as you look through the reports, a couple of things probably stood out that maybe were a little funny. Both our children's and student ministry budgets are way under spending. And that's because a lot of the camp money and deposits and things like that have come in, and we have not yet spent that camp money as of those May reports. We are spending it now. And so those lines are going to fluctuate back and forth a little bit over the next couple of months. But both Johnny and Kathy have assured me that they are on track for their budgeted amounts for camp. So we should not go over, and we probably won't be under, but that's okay. We're investing in those kids, and we're excited to see what happens as they go off to camp. As I'm recording this, our students, our high school and junior high students are at camp right now, and our children, we're going to leave on Sunday. So lots happening in those spaces, getting ready for that. But the money part of it, it always kind of is a lagging indicator. So the money has come in, hadn't all gone out. By the time you got your reports, you'll see that reflected coming up. But everything else is pretty much on track. Some of our internal administrative expenses are running a little higher, so we're trying to clamp down on some of those things where we can, because we still do want to try to manage to budget as best we can. Sometimes unusual things happen, but just because the money is flowing well, I don't want to get sloppy on expenses. And so we're trying hard to stay connected to that as well. Feel free if you have any questions or anything as you looked at the reports to respond to this email or however you see the video. You can send it to the team as well, and we can talk through anything that you found. But so far, so good. Through 5 months, our finances are looking to be in good shape. And the June, so far, at least on the June giving numbers, we're in a good position as well. Don't really know on the expenses until Sharon gets a chance to settle out and close the month. But our offerings have been pretty strong in June as well, which is always nice because sometimes the summer creates a little bit of a slump. And I'm not naive enough to think we won't have one. It just may not be till July or August. We'll see. But so far, so good for June as well. This last thing to share with you just a little bit is the projects that we talked about coming out of that large gift. And I know you've seen the sheet, and we haven't changed the sheet, but just to kind of give you a few updates, several of those projects we're targeting to have done by the end of July. We may get them, we may not get them exactly then, but that's kind of the target. Those would be the carpet squares for worship, trying to get the new ones here and replaced the old ones. Painting the outside of our kids center and doing some refresh on the outside of the life center or worship center in the back of the building. Then that's largely the metal doors that have gotten so faded, and we do have unfortunately some holes in the edging where woodpeckers have pecked through, and so just trying to clean up and address some of those issues. Again, target for that is July 31st. The other things coming up, we are working on a commercial Wi-Fi system to run throughout our campus so that our Wi-Fi signal is better and stronger and more reliable, as well as security cameras that will allow us to kind of keep tabs on what happens, not just on Sundays, obviously we're here, but at other times to kind of help us and also help us monitor the parking lot. As you know, we're going to have our high school students parking there again soon. So that's coming up. Brad is looking at, and I'm glad he is, because some of the sound panels in the gym have fallen recently, and fortunately no one was there and no one was hurt. They're not incredibly heavy, but they are large and cumbersome, and so we've got a couple of bids coming in on those, and so those are being addressed right away. Hopefully we'll have some answers on that soon. We're waiting on another quote to come in to kind of compare to the first one that we got to see what makes the most sense, as well as he's looking at upgrading our speakers and some of our sound equipment as part of that package. Some of that will be done by July 31st. Some of it probably won't be done by the 31st. We have already started our Unstuck coaching process. Our first meeting is on July 9th with the coaches and consultants and our staff team. So I'm really looking forward to that. I feel like they can help us as a church really take another step in terms of reaching our community and developing those that are already here into even better Jesus followers. And so looking forward to that. But we made that initial payment and we've started the process. So that'll continue. And we've also upgraded our online presence. We talked about um, upgrading our Google stats and making sure that we're easy to find and doing some things that allow us to pop up in Google searches that we weren't doing before. We have contracted with a company that's helping us manage that, and that is already started. So we're looking forward to that. And then finally, the only other thing for July 31st is the counseling center that we've talked about. We have a plan on where to put them. It is going to require putting up a couple of walls, just kind of dividing walls, not really anything structural, in one of the rooms inside the Life Center so that they will have an outside entry and exit that'll allow for some privacy, but also some dedicated space for our counseling partnership with Freedom Family Counseling. They are excited to partner with us, and I'm looking forward to being able to offer that not only to our church, but our community and even the high school next door could be potential users of this. And so we just felt like it was important to have some dedicated space, which will require some minor remodeling, and we are getting some bids on that. We do not have one settled yet. So that one, same thing, might not quite be ready by July 31st. But just as a little bit of a preview, we're starting a brand new relationship series on September 7th. So it's a couple months out. We've got a guest speaker coming. His name's John Trent. He is an author and writer working specifically in the area of relationships and family dynamics. He's going to come as a guest speaker both at the beginning of that series and then the sermon at the end of that series. So I'm really looking forward to that. A lot of things will be happening church-wide to support that series, but I feel like that would be a great time for us to publicly launch our counseling center partnership. So I'm pretty confident we'll be on time for that, even if we don't have it ready to go by the 31st. So just a little update on some of the projects. They're coming along. You will see the bank account start to drain a little bit as we spend money and sometimes in larger chunks, but that's okay. That just means that we're having opportunities to do ministry and engage people in brand new ways, and then taking care of some housekeeping things that need to be done here. So thank you so much for taking a minute to watch. And if there's any questions you have, like I said, let me know. And above all else, continue to pray for our church, that the kingdom would move forward, that our people would be faithful and generous stewards, and that we would have opportunities to continue to reach our commitment, or reach our community, and that we would be strong in our commitment to grow up the followers of Jesus that are already here. Thank you guys so much. Have a phenomenal summer. I know I'll see you around on Sundays. And again, let me know if there's anything I can do for you. Thanks so much.